Good day everyone, I am Ria Mario Salazar Pagarigan. Today let's talk about HTML.
And I am Jefferson Pua. What is HTML? Hypertext Markup Language or HTML is the standard markup language for a document designed to be displayed in web browser. It can be assisted by technologies such as cascading style sheets and scripting language such as JavaScript.
Computers use language to communicate just like people do, and the way computers communicate with the internet is through a computer called Hypertext Markup Language or HTML. Hypertext is the process of linking objects to each other so that when one object is clicked, the linking object can be viewed. And the hypertext markup language was created by Tim Berners-Lee in 1990 so that the hypertext could be used through the internet. Making web pages doesn't make you a programmer. Instead, the hypertext markup language contains a series of markup tags that are used to clarify and group elements in a web pages. A web browser then reads these markup tags and translates them into what we visibly recognize as a website.
So let's talk about HTML elements, but before that, I would like to give some basic information about HTML. HTML is not basically a programming language, but others consider it as a programming language, and also others consider it as a scripting language. So now let's talk about HTML elements. Remember, classmates, that all HTML document must start with a document type declaration, doctype HTML, and the HTML document itself begins with opening HTML and ends with closing HTML. Elements of HTML. First, itong doctype HTML na to. Ang ibig sabihin ng doctype HTML na to sa taas is para pag binasa ni browser tong file na to, malalaman niya na HTML file to. And sa baba naman ni doctype, meron tayong opening HTML, at sa pinakababa, meron tayong closing HTML. Sa loob naman ni HTML, meron tayong opening head and closing head. Sa baba ni header, meron tayong opening title with group 5 text and syempre, closing title. Then, we also have here opening body and closing body. And sa baba ni body, meron tayong opening H1 with chapter 8 text and closing H1. So, ang H1 classmate or heading 1 is sila yung most commonly used to mark up the web page title. And sa baba ni H1, meron tayong opening paragraph tag and closing paragraph tag. So, si paragraph tag naman, siya yung nagli-leave ng space.
However, there are also HTML elements that do not have content, which is called empty element.
So, yung mga tinatawag kasi nating HTML elements is yung mga may opening and closing tag. And yung mga empty elements naman is yung mga walang kasamang closing tag. Ang example dito is si break tag. So, kabilang si BR sa empty elements kasi wala siyang kasamang closing tag. So, for example, maglagay tayo dito ng text na then, dito na nilagay yung BR. So, as you can see, classmate, tuloy-tuloy siyang tinype natin. Pero pag tinignan natin siya dito, putol siya kasi naglagay tayo ng BR. Then, if you can see here, merong mga space. Kasi naglagay din tayo ng paragraph tag dito. So, HTML elements can have contribute to provide additional information about them. Ano ba yung mga tinatawag nating additional information sa isang HTML elements? So, yun yung tinatawag nating attributes. So, lahat ng elements ng HTML, pwede natin siyang lagyan ng attributes. Pag nilagyan natin siya ng attribute, magiging unique yung tag ng HTML.
Block label elements. A block label elements always start a new line and takes up a full wide available. Stretch out to left and right as far as it can. There are two display value, block elements and inline elements. A block label elements always start a new line and takes up a full width available. An inline elements does not start a new line and it only takes up a much wide as necessary. The divide elements is a block label and it's often used as container from another HTML elements. As span elements is an inline container used to mark up a parts of text or a part of documents. And this is a code of block label elements. And this is inline elements. Responsive web design. Responsive web design is about using HTML and CSS to automatically resize, hide, shrink, and enlarge a website to make it look good to all devices, desktop, tablets, and phone. Responsive website device ay isang website na dumedevelop, appreciate na lumilikha ng mga dynamic na pagbabago sa itsura ng isang website. Depende sa laki ng screen or orientasyon ng device na ginagamit para tignan ito. Mas umaasa ang tumutugon ang disenyo sa mga guide na nakabatay sa proposition upang muling ayusin ang nilalaman ng mga elemento o
So, hello everyone. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the CSS syntax selector. So, CSS associates styles rules with HTML element. These rules govern how the content of a specified element should be displayed. A CSS rules contains two parts, a selector and a declaration. So, the rule indicates that all key elements should be shown in the Arial typeface. So, the selector indicates which element the rule applies to. The same rule can apply to more than element if you want to separate the element names with commas. So, the declaration indicates how the element referred to in selector should be styled. Declaration are split into two parts, a property and W, and are separated by a colon. CSS properties affect how elements are displayed. CSS declarations sit inside curly brace, and each is made up of two parts, a property and W, separated by a colon. You can specify several properties in one declaration, each separated by semicolon. The rule indicates that all H1, H2, H3 are the elements should be shown in an Arial typeface in a yellow color. So, the properties indicates the aspects of the element you want to change. For example, the color, font, width, height, and border. And the values specify the setting you want to use for choosing properties. For example, if you want to specify a color property, then the value is the color you want to text inside this element. So, I have a basic example here. So, guys, starting tayo sa HTML and then the style. First, we are going to talk CSS syntax gaya ng ibang programming language. Meron din tayong sinusunod na rules. A rule set consists selector and a declaration block. Ang tawag naman dito sa inside our curly braces is a declaration block. A declaration block consists a property and a value. So, ang property natin is si background and the value is yung kulay na sinelect natin. And then, the property is a height and the value is 100. And then, the head. And inside this head, nilagyan natin siya ng title. And yung title of the document natin is Group 5 Reporters. And then, nilak na natin si title and then si head. And then, we add another declaration text align colon and si center. And then, the selector also H1, and then the B, which is means bold the letter, and then the declaration, the property is the font color and the value is maroon. And nilock lang natin yung mga selector natin, which is si bold, and then si H1, and then si center, and the declaration is font. Nilock natin sila. And also this the body. And this selector, which means paragraph. And also the H2, yung font na ginamit natin, is the selector. And then the declaration is the font color and the value is orange. And then the selector break. And then ito siya. And then nilock natin si selector P, and then the font, the body, and the HTML. So guys, i-previous na natin siya.
My name is Jovert Janroli Passion. I'm gonna talk about what is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS, or Cascading Style Sheets, is used to format the layout of a web page. With CSS, you can control the color, font, the size of a text, the spacing between elements, how elements are positioned and laid out, what background images to be used for different devices and screen sizes, and much more. The word cascading means the style applied to a parent element will also apply to all children elements within the parent. A parent element is usually the containing element, with the element inside being, it's called child or children elements. Elements that have the same parent are called siblings. As you can see on the example, the parent element is the body, and the children elements are the tables and divisions. P, H1, H2, H6 that shown here are selector, which represents the specific divisions or tables. Example is this page. First, the red outer line represents the whole page, and that is the parent element. Second is the shape inside the red line or the page, which contains the header, sidebar, the footer, and the content area are the children elements.